Kevin Kading, Private Lands Coordinator for the North Dakota Game and Fish Department in Bismarck. So PLOTS stands for Private Land Open to Sportsmen. Conservation plots is what you'll see on the sign. It's been around for several years now, pretty widely recognized fixture on the landscape. People know what the yellow triangle sign is if you're a hunter, and landowners, a lot of landowners enrolled in the program over the years know a lot about the program. And so PLOTS does a couple things. It's an agreement between the North Dakota Game and Fish Department and a landowner. And it can allow for public walk-in hunting access, and it can also provide wildlife habitat development. And so some PLOTS agreements are simply for public hunting access, and other ones do have habitat development going on or some type of habitat enhancement. It's a big program. We did see a little bit of an increase this year, about 5,000 acres, so a little over 800,000 acres again this year. About 2,800 agreements in the program, and probably nearly about the same amount of landowners in the program. Some landowners have multiple agreements, things like that, but it's a big program with a lot of landowners across the whole state. We've got private lands biologists that work with those landowners. PLOTS guides are out. You can find them online too. A lot of applications out there for smartphones and electronic apps, that type of thing too. So if you're not wanting the paper copy, there's other ways to download it to a smartphone and have that map at your fingertips that way too. We did increase, like we said, 5,000 acres this year, which is great. We always want to see more if possible, but there's a lot that goes into getting those acres on the ground. And one thing that our staff spend a lot of time on is re-enrolling acres. These agreements have a term length, and every so often those agreements need to be renegotiated with the landowner. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 125,000, 130,000 acres that had to be re-enrolled or renegotiated, those contracts, and to keep them in the program again for a set amount of years. So in our world, I guess that's just as important as a new acre, trying to keep acres in the program and maintaining that relationship with the private landowners. We're always trying to develop habitat where we can with landowners that are willing to do so, and that can come in a lot of different ways. We work with landowners directly just through the PLOTS program to develop new grass plantings or maybe some tree plantings and other types of habitat development. Primarily our biggest focus is on new grass. So this year we did do about 2,700 acres of new grass just through PLOTS directly. That might not sound like a lot, but it is one more component out there to the PLOTS program. We also indirectly add a lot of habitat by working with other partners or other programs that kind of piggyback onto the PLOTS program. For example, we might work with a landowner to direct them to enroll in a partner program or a program like CRP or something like that. Then that program puts the habitat on the ground, and then we enroll those acres into PLOTS. So indirectly, we've benefited the habitat resource by doing that as well. So it's not always that the PLOTS program is the one doing the habitat work. We work with a lot of different partners to develop habitat on PLOTS as well. There's a lot of diversity with the different PLOTS agreements that we have across the state. Some of these, like I mentioned, are simply for walk-in hunting access. There's no habitat development component to it. There's enough habitat there or some important habitat features. Maybe it's wetlands or woody draws or different habitats that we're interested in for a certain species. And no habitat development is taking place. So we're just providing access to those areas. Another example might be a cropland situation where there's some wetlands embedded in it for waterfowl hunting or field hunting, that type of thing. And so it's a lot of unique, every PLOTS tract is unique. They're not all the same. Some of them have a lot of habitat, some of them don't have as much habitat, but they all serve a purpose in the program. And I think probably over the years, hunters have come to realize that too. We used to get calls on that more frequently about why is this piece enrolled in the program, but then we would tell people just walk over the hill, and there might be a little wetland back there, there might be some grass plantings or new tree rows or whatever it might be going in. That provides that habitat and that hunting value that we're seeking out for the program. So the PLOTS agreement that we have with the landowner allows for walk-in hunting access only. Any other activity really does require that landowner permission. And if someone wants to do whatever it is, trap shooting or camping or things like that, that's not allowed in the agreement as it is. So that would require direct landowner permission. And like I said, there's other things we want people to be aware of when they're out there. Just treat these lands as if they're your own. There are private lands. The landowner doesn't have to stay in the program. If he gets a bad experience, we don't want to see that, and so leave gates like you found them, pick up some garbage if you're out there, thank a landowner if you see them when they're out and about doing business, doing workout on their land. Try to stay away from blocking certain field entrances or field approaches, things like that. Just good common sense, and realize that when you come back next year, if you leave a good impression on that landowner, there's a good chance the land will still be in the program. I'm really excited about the future direction of the plots program and our private lands programs in general. We had really had some good results from the legislative session. Our director had, provided a lot of support. Our legislature had some great foresight, thinking ahead on the needs for private lands and habitat in North Dakota. We really look forward to the fall here coming up. We hope people can get out and enjoy these plots acres and really appreciate the landowners that have enrolled their land into these programs. It's a great opportunity we have in this state, great program. We really hope people have a safe and enjoyable fall and get out there and enjoy those acres.